The Tweedies are a troubled middle-aged couple who run their own chicken farm somewhere in a town in Yorkshire, England. Mrs. Tweedy, voiced by Miranda Richardson, is the ill-tempered brains of the pair, while Mr. Tweedy, voiced by Tony Haygarth, is slow but he can handle the manual work industriously. The coop is run in the style of a World War II POW camp, with the chickens accountable for the number of eggs they lay daily. One chicken, Ginger, voiced by Julia Sawalha, who is often treated as the chicken's leader, has attempted numerous escapes, which she was aided by contraband smuggled in by a pair of rats named Nick and Fetcher, voiced by Timothy Spall and Phil Daniels. However, Ginger is routinely captured by Mr. Tweedy and his dogs and is later thrown into a coal bin for solitary confinement. Ginger is released from the coal bin just in time for roll call the next day. Mrs. Tweedy soon finds out that one chicken named Edwina had not laid any eggs that week. Edwina is beheaded to death and is later cooked for the Tweedies' dinner. Ginger becomes increasingly desperate to find a plan of escape which will work, but faces problems with Nick and Fetcher, who are tired of being paid with chicken feed and want their own eggs instead. Mrs. Tweedy soon realizes that the couple's farm is failing and reads a catalog on an ambiguous method of increasing profits. Realizing something is wrong, Ginger attempts to convince herself and the other chickens to speed up their efforts to escape. However, Ginger soon concludes that the only escape route is to go over the fence, and something that she and the other chickens cannot do. That same night, as Ginger sits outside of the coop, she sees a Rhode Island red cockerel named Rocky, voiced by Mel Gibson, who flies over the fence and accidentally crashes into the coop. The other chickens also fawn over Rocky, while Ginger finds the first half of a poster with a picture of Rocky on it that appears to show that he can fly. After Ginger discovers that Rocky is from a circus, she agrees to hide him from his owners if he teaches them how to fly. Rocky reluctantly agrees, but says he cannot show them immediately because he injured his wing when he crashed into the chicken coop. Instead, Rocky puts Ginger and the other chickens through a set of exercises that seem to have no purpose while assuring them that they are making progress. Suddenly, a large pie-making machine arrives at the farm, in which Mrs. Tweedy orders all food rations doubled. Ginger proclaims that their intent is to fatten them up and then kill them. Rocky and Ginger argue with each other, which Rocky claims that Ginger's honesty will demoralize the chickens, and Ginger refusing to lie to the other chicken. Discovering that the other chickens have gone into depression following Ginger's announcement, Rocky organizes a party using a radio obtained by Nick and Fetcher. During the party, Rocky's wing is shown to have healed. Once their pie machine is complete, the Tweedies kidnap Ginger and later subject her to its first test. Rocky follows Ginger into the machine and rescues her by damaging the machine and giving him and Ginger more time to work on their escape. Fowler, voiced by Benjamin Whitrow, an older cockerel who has been doubtful of Rocky's acts, gives Rocky his respect for rescuing Ginger and his old Royal Air Force RAF badge in tribute. Rocky decides to flee the farm the next day, leaving behind Fowler's medal and the second half of his poster, which shows that he was actually a stunt cockerel who flew by being shot from a cannon. This revelation outrages and demoralizes all the chickens except Ginger. When Fowler arrives to try and restore order, he begins talking of his days in the RAF, leading Ginger to realize that she and the other chickens could fly out after all by using an airplane built from the chicken coops, modeled after Fowler's pictures and personal recollections and constructed using tools supplied by Nick and Fetcher. The chickens race against time to assemble their plane as the Tweedies work to repair their pie machine. The chickens finally finish their plane just as Mr. Tweedy enters the coop to grab them. However, the chickens launch an open revolt by tying up and gagging Mr. Tweedy. As the chickens are preparing to depart, Mr. Tweedy frees himself and knocks down the ramp used to get the chickens' plane airborne. Ginger jumps down as Fowler turns the plane around, which knocks Mr. Tweedy unconscious. As Ginger struggles to lift the ramp, Mrs. Tweedy attempts to kill her with her hatchet. However, Rocky, who just returned after seeing a controversial ad for the chicken pies, jumps over the fence aboard this tricycle and hits Mrs. Tweedy in her face, which knocks her senseless. Rocky and Ginger grab onto the string of lights which was caught on the plane's landing gear as the plane departs. However, Mrs. Tweedy soon awakens and also grabs the lights, which weighs down the chickens.